Hello and welcome to this career workshop on interview preparation for the Youth Employment Preparation Program run by MFSE. My name is Natalie McClellan and I am the Employment Education and Training Coordinator for MFS Europe. Most of us have had a job interview at some point in our lives, and we know they can be scary things. However, they're really nothing to worry about. All a job interview does is give the employer the chance to meet you and see if they like you enough to give you a job. Simple. Get it right, and you could end up with a great job. This is the ultimate aim of this session, for you to get it right and land that job. Our learning objectives today are as follows: to help you acquire the know-how and develop the skills needed to successfully complete a job interview, to provide you with an overview of the interview process in order to help you better prepare for an interview, and finally, to help you increase your level of confidence and comfort with job interviews. First, let's define what is a job interview. A job interview is a conversation between a job applicant and a representative of an employer, which is conducted to assess whether the applicant should be hired. It's an opportunity for the employer and the prospective employee to mutually explore the possibility for a match. It is, at its core, an exchange of information. The employer is seeking to learn more about your qualifications in relation to the specific job opening, and looks to confirm if your aptitudes and your values are in line with the organization's. For you as the candidate, you're looking to explore if the employer and the organization is a good match to your career objectives and your aspirations. In the days or weeks leading up to your interview, you need to get ready. First, you want to research the employer or company. Read their website, understand their values, how their business runs, and how you can be an asset to them. You can also research your interviewer. Read up on the bio of the company's website or read their LinkedIn page. Second, you want to review your notes and review your resume. Look up sample interview questions for this kind of job or this industry. Third, get your paperwork ready. Print copies of important documents that are relevant and significant to your candidacy. Do they need to see a copy of your first aid certificate or a defensive driving course, for example? And finally, rehearse. You want to practice, practice, and practice some more. Write out specific answers to questions you found online and then practice delivering them in front of a mirror or on video. Specifically, know the answer to this question: how can I be an asset to this company? Also, rehearse the details that a lot of people don't think about. Figure out how you're going to get to the interview. Look at where to park and how long it's going to take you to get there to make sure you won't be late. Figure out what you're going to wear. If you're not sure, see if you can stop by the place of work and check out what people are wearing to make sure you're dressed formally enough. You want to try to dress one step above what people wear day to day. Don't wear clothes that are too tight or somehow uncomfortable. Don't try out a new pair of shoes that might pinch or blister. Dress professionally in an outfit that you know well. On the day of your interview, aim to arrive 10 to 15 minutes before your start time. Bring a bottle of water, your notes, a notepad and pen, and if you have one, a career portfolio. For YEP, our interviews are held online, so you want to be logged in at least 10 minutes early, which gives you time to determine if you and the interviewer can hear each other and see each other, and adjust your settings or fix technical issues without eating into your interview time. If you were in a face-to-face interview, you would want to arrive at least 10 but not more than 15 minutes early. Inform the receptionist or whoever greets you at the door that you've arrived, you're here for an interview, and who you are meeting. Then sit and relax and wait to be called. You've done all there is to do to prepare for this moment. Now you just need to calm your nerves and focus on your strengths. As previously mentioned, Yep, interviews take place remotely, by internet or telephone. Because you don't have the opportunity to shake hands and create a rapport face-to-face with your interviewer, you must properly present yourself through other means. Here are some tips. First, treat the interview as a face-to-face one. Dress for it, and arrange to conduct the interview at a desk. Have your notes, documents, notepad and pen in front of you during the call. Do not take the phone call from a couch or in your pajama pants. The way you dress and sit will affect the quality of your voice, so take it seriously. Show up to the interview like the professional that you are. Smile while you speak. This is an interview tip used by telemarketers, and a smile helps warm up the tone of your voice, which will work to convey both warmth and enthusiasm. Smile through your answers and share how excited you are about this opportunity. The interviewer will not have the privilege of seeing this in your demeanor. During an interview, you'll be asked various types of questions. Today, I want to review the 4 main types: job knowledge, behavioral, work requirements, and situational. Job knowledge questions will determine your relevant knowledge and essential skills, such as work practices, policies, procedures, resources, relevant laws, your customer service skills, and technical information. It'll also determine the relationship between the position's tasks and the organization's missions. For example, do you know about services that a family may need during a deployment if you're going to be working to help out MFS? Behavioral questions are when the company asks questions about your past work or volunteer experiences in order to help determine if you have the skills needed for the job. Behavioral interview questions focus on how you handled various situations in the past, and your response will reveal your skills, abilities, and personality. Work requirement questions focus on your ability to meet the requirements of the position. For example, the ability to get a security clearance, possessing the right computer skills, or the ability to lift a certain amount of weight, to travel, or to work overtime. Situational questions are similar to behavioral questions, but instead of asking you to talk about a past experience and how you handled yourself, you're presented with a hypothetical situation. So instead of being asked, "Tell me about a time when you," the interviewer will start out with a more ambiguous prompt. For example, how would you handle a difficult boss? Behavioral questions are the most common that you're going to encounter. Behavioral questions are based on discovering how you acted in previous employment-related situations. The logic is that your past behavior is the best indicator of your future behavior. In a behavioral interview, an employer must confirm that you possess the specific skills required for the position. These skills are generally listed in the job posting and might include the ability to manage multiple projects simultaneously, or the ability to work as part of a team. Instead of asking generally how you would behave, they want to ask you how you did behave in a past situation. The interviewer will want to know how you handled the situation instead of what you might do in the future. These types of questions are more pointed, more probing, and more specific than traditional interview questions. An example is, "Tell me about a time when you felt under tight deadlines. What did you do to ensure you met your commitments?" The best way to answer behavioral questions is to use the STAR answering technique. The STAR technique is a structured manner of responding to a behavioral question by discussing the specific situation, task, action, and result of the event you're describing. The situation means to describe the situation that you were in. You must describe a specific event, not just a generalized description of what you have done in the past. Be sure to give enough detail for the interviewer to understand. You want them to be able to see and understand what happened to you. Note that the situation that you choose can be from a previous job, from a volunteer experience or any relevant event. Then talk about the task, and this means the specific goal you were working on or what you were assigned to do in that situation. What were you trying to achieve? Then look at the action. Describe the action or actions you took to address the situation. Use an appropriate amount of detail and make sure you keep the focus on you. What specific steps did you take? What was your particular contribution? If you were working with a team on a project, be careful that you don't only describe generally what the team did. You want to use the word I, not just we, when you describe your actions. Generally speaking, you want to choose a situation where you can talk about at least 2 to 3 different actions you took to address the task or the problem that you were facing. And finally, you don't want to forget this part. The R in STAR stands for result. Describe the final outcome of your actions, and don't be shy about taking credit for your behavior. What happened? How did the event end? What did you accomplish? What did you learn? Make sure your answer contains multiple positive results. Let's look at a few sample questions and answers. Question 1. Describe a situation where you used your leadership skills to solve a problem. Answer. My friends selected me as a group leader for a major class project. There was a lot of work involved. I reviewed the project requirements and divided up and delegated tasks among the 5 group members based on what each person was best at. I set deadlines for everyone to share their work and set reminders to keep people on track. I arranged a meeting 1 week later, after school. We reviewed and combined the information, wrote a conclusion together, and submitted a day early. We received an A for our presentation. Question 2. Tell me about a time you made a mistake at school or work. How did you handle it? Answer. I was selected as the editor of the school yearbook. At first, I tried to take on everything myself, from the cover design to page layout to advertising sales. I was so excited, but it was too much and I nearly missed the first deadline. I quickly learned that the best leaders and managers know how to delegate so that work is done more efficiently. So I went to my team and asked each member what they wanted to help with. We put up posters to recruit more committee members with specific skills. The work became much more organized. The yearbook was printed on time and looked fantastic. We received great feedback. Question 3. Please tell us about a time when you had difficulties getting along with a coworker or a classmate. A. How did you work through the situation? And B. What was the outcome? And the answer? In my grade 11 biology class, I was assigned a lab partner who was very pushy and dominating. She would always jump in and do all the hands-on work herself, and then tell me what parts of the written report she expected me to do. At first, I went along with it, as at least she had a plan and the work was getting done. But after the first few assignments, I was getting frustrated. I wasn't learning and I did not enjoy the lab classes. I asked to meet with her after class and I expressed my frustration. I told her that I needed to participate more in the actual lab activity if I was going to learn and succeed in the course. I told her it felt like she didn't trust me. She immediately apologized and explained that she had had a very bad lab partner the year before and had nearly flunked the lab test because he wasn't doing his share of the work. She was determined not to let that happen again, but hadn't realized she'd been quite so overbearing. We began to share the work more evenly, and both finished near the top of the class. So now you've reached the end of the interview. But hold on, it's not time to rush out the door. You're going to be given a chance to ask questions to the interviewer. You want to take that chance. An interview is a two-way conversation, so now is the time for you to find out about the company and the team you'll be working with. Here are some sample questions to ask. I recommend that you come prepared to the interview with a list of written questions for the team that will be relevant to your particular situation. Some questions would be, what are the main duties of this position? What characteristics do you look for in people doing this job? What are the challenges in this work? Do you foresee different challenges in the future? Can you recommend documents or resources that provide information about your work and the priorities of your division? Asking these questions allows you to determine if this employer is a good fit for you. Leave questions about the pay rate or needing some time off until after you have a job offer. In closing the interview, communicate how excited you are about this opportunity. Thank them for their time and ask them when you'll find out the results of the competition. And finally, provide them with a list of references that can vouch for your suitability. These references must be well informed of your skills and your candidacy for the position, and they must be provided with relevant information such as the job description so that they can properly speak about you if they're called. It's best to have your references pre-printed and ready to hand over before you go to the interview. After the interview, perhaps later that day or no later than the next day, follow up with a thank you email. And then take a moment to evaluate your performance. What worked? What didn't work so well? And what could you improve on next time? You should take the time to evaluate the position. You may have realized during the interview that the position isn't as well suited for you as you thought, and you may not be as excited to work there anymore. It's important to reflect on these impressions, as they should guide your response to an eventual job offer. In closing, let's review some tips to ensure your success in your job interview. To start, be yourself. Show that you're interested and enthusiastic about the opportunity. Take the time to research the employer and show in the interview that you know what they do and what they're going to expect from you. Prepare, and prepare some more. And rehearse. If you do the work and put in the time, your confidence and competency are going to shine through and will help you land the job. And finally, know and say why you would be the best candidate for this position. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this recording. I hope you feel more prepared for your job interview. But if you need any assistance, if you have any questions about preparing for your upcoming job interview, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can reach me at the email address on the screen at any time. Thanks very much, and have a great day.